up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff. We love to talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV shows. If it's geeky, if it's nerdy, this right here is where we talk about it. And right now I want to do a fun ranking. I'm going to rank the Ninja Turtles. That's right. I'm ranking the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not the movies, not the TV shows. I'm ranking the Turtles. This is an age-old debate. 30 years old, age-old debate. I mean, I remember me and my friends, we would sit down in the basement and we would debate who the best turtle was. So I'm going to give my ranking from worst to best of the 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's do this. Number 4 is, and already people aren't going to like this, but number 4 is Leonardo. Leonardo was just always very vanilla. You know, that he was the guy who followed all the rules. He was the guy who never stepped out of line. He was the guy who groomed to be the leader. And I just always found Leo to be a little unrelatable. You know, he wasn't very relatable as a teenager, because I was a teenager. Well, I was younger than a teenager. I was about 6 or 7 when Ninja Turtles came onto the scene, and then I literally grew up with them. So I never found Leo to be relatable. He was always the perfect guy, and I was never the perfect guy. I was always the one who you know, I struggled some with some of my academics until I got older. When I got older, I excelled at my academics. But when I was little, I struggled some with academics. I got in a little bit of trouble. I never really related to Leo. So for me, Leo is number 4. Number 3 is Mikey. I know, Mikey's probably most people's number 1, but Mikey, I don't know, he is the most relatable to the 7-year-old me. A 7-year-old me loved Mikey, but adult me looks at Mikey and I'm just like, I can't relate to that at all. Maybe I've lost some of that inner child in me. Because he's just a little bit too laissez-faire. He's a little bit too chill. You know, he's just a little bit too relaxed, a little bit too easygoing, and a little bit too wisecracking, right? So, Michelangelo is the party dude, and I grew out of the party dude 15 to 20 years ago. So I think Michelangelo is somebody that's going to really appeal to a lot of kids. And I think he still does appeal to a lot of kids, because Michelangelo looks at the world with a certain childlike wonder. And I think for that reason, he really does appeal to a lot of kids. But for me, Michelangelo is just like, he's an avatar of what I think youth is. Like, I look at him and I see youth. I see naive, sometimes annoying youth, and that's why Michelangelo's number 3 for me. Number 2 is Donatello. Now, Donatello, I really like the character. I always like the bow staff. I mean, you could just find a stick out in the woods, pick it up, and you got a bow staff, right? But Donatello always brought something extra to the table. Yeah, he was a ninja. Yeah, he knew martial arts, but he brought that little extra that was useful. You know, Mikey wasn't useful with his jokes and his dancing and his eating pizza and all that. Donnie brought that to the table. His intelligence. He brought his ability to think outside the box, come up with solutions, develop tech. You know, he developed the party wagon, he developed the turtle blimp, he developed the turtle comm, he developed all these crazy contraptions that they had, the machine that tossed trash, the machine that spit slime. You know, he developed all of this. Donnie was the brains behind the brawn that was the Ninja Turtles, and therefore I always had a certain level of love for the character. He was a now I'm not a techie guy, but he was a kindred spirit because he was a geek like me. I don't much care for the new take of Donatello in the new movies, the Michael Bay movies. I thought he was a little too skinny, thought he was a little too hunched over, thought they went overboard with the nerd qualities. They even had him wearing glasses, which I thought was silly. But the original take on Donatello in the '87 series, in the 2003 series, even in the Nickelodeon reboot, I thought that they did Donatello great. I thought he was good in the 1990 movie. the 1991 movie, but then in the modern movies, they kind of just went a little bit too far with that. So Donatello was my second favorite. Finally, the favorite. My all-time favorite turtle is Raphael. Raphael was my favorite from the very beginning. Even when I was a kid, he was my favorite. I remember Raphael was the only one I wanted to play with at the arcade game. Remember the arcade game? Guys, I pumped quarter after quarter after quarter into that at the skating rink. I beat it several times, and Raphael was always my dude. Turtles in Time, the video game, Raphael was my dude. I loved playing Raphael in those games. And that was kind of where I developed my love for him. I always liked the fact that he was wisecracking. I always liked the fact that he was making jokes. You know, he's rude but cool, and I always liked that about him. But I also really love the fact that he was somebody who got himself into trouble with his hot-headedness. Remember in the 1990 film, he got ambushed by the Foot and he went into a coma. This was after a fight with Leo. I really like the fact that they kind of had this real approach to him as far as brotherhood. You know, sometimes brothers fight. We all know that. And he always had this real take. Like, he butted heads with Leo. And it was a certain disrespect for authority that he had for Leo, and I always really thought that was a lot of fun. You go to the TMNT movie, the animated one, guys. That rooftop fight between Raph and Leo, that is my all-time favorite scene in any Ninja Turtle movie. I love the rooftop fight, and I love how you could feel the anger in Donnie. It was palatable. It was tangible. You could reach out and grab the anger. That was how realistic that they made that anger on that rooftop scene. And the point when he finally beat Leo and he just pulled up short of actually delivering a potentially fatal blow, it was like, there is a lot of anger here. There's a lot of complexity here. And guys, I love the character. He is the most complex of all the turtles. Getting himself into trouble, needing help from his brothers to get bailed out. This is a great character, and very caring, very loving, but at the same time complex and willing to fight with his own brothers, sometimes for what he believes in, sometimes just because he's a hardhead and doesn't know any better or doesn't care to know any better. I love that about him. So, he's my favorite. So number 4 is Leonardo. Number 3 is Michelangelo. Number 2 is Donatello. And number 1 is Raphael. But I'm just one person. I'm just one person with one set of opinions. Who is your favorite turtle? How would you rank them? Let me know in the comments down below. Guys, I really appreciate you joining me here at my channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for joining me right here at the Oki Review. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.